this: a tropical island, white sand, sunshine, and blue skies. This is where I grew up, Mauritius. At 19, ready for adventures, I packed my bags and left the tropics for France to study psychology. And one summer, I meet the love of my life. There's a tricky part though, distance. We lived in 2 different countries. His adopted country is known for its greenery, shamrocks, and the rain. Ireland. The most challenging part of living here for me, because this is now our home, has been the weather. I felt cold like I never felt before. And while I love the exceptional green of Ireland, the ever-present rain was a bit of a challenge. So, let me tell you how I acclimatized. When I moved to the coastal town I now live in, I used to drop my son to his play school and go for a walk on the seafront with my baby daughter. This sea had a different shade of blue, was sometimes grey, the beach was stony, and the water looked cold. For months, I saw people coming out of the sea, smiling, happy, chatting lively. Madness, I thought. A year later, here was I, joining the madness. I'm always known for the one who's well wrapped up, or who looks like a snowman because she's dressed so much, even before a run. I even used to have my coat on for the 30 seconds it takes to put out the bins. Not in my wildest dreams would I have thought of doing this. But swimming in the cold Irish Sea is now a huge part of my week or my day during the summer. Why, though? In my swim gear, as I walk on the beach into the sea, I brace myself. I step in. The first sensation is always the coldest. I continue walking in slowly, and my shoulders creep up. The next decision is when to immerse myself, and when I do, it takes my breath away. I move my body, and I try to recover from the shock. And when I eventually do, I start my strokes. My tropical genes often scream when I get in the sea. And yet, it calls me. Before leaving it, I usually let myself go on my back and let it hold me. Back on land, shivering, teeth clattering, smiling from ear to ear, I feel light, proud, and ready to take on anything. Why would I do this to myself, though? The main reason I go into the Irish Sea is for what it brings to my brain. It prepares me to be adaptable and resilient. As an organizational psychologist, I know that building these mental capacities is essential for thriving in the world we live in today. The World Economic Forum's Future of Jobs report mentions that resilience, agility, and flexibility are among the top 5 skills, the top 5 key skills that will be needed for the immediate future workplace. A Stanford Center for Longevity article suggests that taking regular cold water dips could help lower our stress hormone levels. This means our bodies could release less cortisol, the stress hormone, when dealing with everyday challenges, helping us stay calmer and feel more resilient over time. Because going in the Irish Sea is such a challenge for me, it is every time a conscious mental effort to decide to actually go in. In winter, I usually hear myself thinking, it's too cold to go in today. Or, maybe this is choppy and I can skip today. When I hear this resistance, I tell myself it is simply my brain trying to stick to the familiar. That's when I remind myself that I have the power to change how my brain reacts. Neuroscience tells us that while our brain prefers what feels familiar, it can also be rewired. When we learn something new or experience a new skill, we build new neural pathways, new routes that the brain can use instead of relying on existing ones. This is what's known as neuroplasticity. Think of walking into a forest. You could choose to go on the main path, or you could venture on a lesser used path. This path, if people keep walking it step by step, it will become a path of its own. For me, going in the cold sea is a way of building new pathways. I know as a psychologist that building resilience and building adaptability is an essential strategy. This sea is so different from the calm lagoons I grew up with. There's no coral barrier, and the waves can be powerful. I've been toppled enough times to know I have to respect it. Anyone here learned a new skill as an adult? Show of hands. I did too. Recently, I took up tennis. At first, it felt overwhelming. There were so many things to think about. How to hold the racket, getting back to the ready position, and so many things. But while I'm still learning, with practice and repetition, these neural pathways, these routes, have been strengthened in my brain, and these initial actions have now become automatic. For me, when I go into the Irish Sea, I'm telling myself that I can do something that to me feels quite challenging. Life has the art of throwing unexpected challenges our way. It's really a question of if, but rather when. And when challenges like a sick child, a sleepless night, and a work deadline knock at my door all together, I hear myself saying exactly the same thing as I walk on the beach into the sea. I can do this. I can do this. My brain can access my cold sea swimming experience to tell myself that I can overcome this present challenge too. Sea swimming in Ireland has also brought so many other joys. It gets me out on the greyest of days. Even a light rain doesn't stop me anymore. Definitely a sign that I acclimatized. I'm more active because of it, and it gives me such a boost. The Stanford Center for Longevity article that I cited earlier suggests that regular cold water exposure could also give us, just after the exposure, a dopamine boost, which impacts on motivation and mood. Dopamine being the feel-good hormone. What also gets me to the beach, other than the sea itself, is the people. An incredible, supportive, an inspiring community of mostly women from different backgrounds and ages. After our swims, while we shiver and sip our warm tea together, we laugh. Sometimes we cry, and always we support one another. These connections have led me to so much more, like book clubs, cultural events, and even deep friendships. When the waves bring me out of my comfort zone, it is this tribe of inspiring sea women who hold my hand sometimes and help me dive in. Being in the moment has also been a gift from the sea. I can tell you, when I get in, I can think of nothing else than what's happening right here, right now. When my other half says, "You need a swim," it's usually code for, "Can you press your reset button?" Nothing like the sea gives me perspective. To quote the authors of the book, Taking the Plunge, the sea calms my mind's storms. It helps me cope as a woman, as a mum, and in my professional life. In a world that is going and will go through unprecedented change, I know that getting our brains ready to be adaptable and resilient is essential. So, even on my own, I keep going into the cold sea because I know what it brings to me. And afterwards, I feel refreshed, energized, and ready to take on anything. Being in the sea has also taught me about nature's cycles, about our connection with the oceans, and about our responsibility towards protecting it. It has also taught me that I have to learn to be adaptable. No 2 days is the same when I get to the sea. And there's so much that is beyond my control: the tides, the weather, even my own health some days. Before I leave you, here's my invitation to you. Find your version of the cold sea, depending on your health status and safety. What can you do that will help you build new pathways in your brain so that you can build the skills of adaptability and resilience when life calls for it? Learning to juggle? Learning to play a musical instrument? Learning a new language? Bonus point if there's a community element involved. What wild thing can you do that will make you say, "Never did I think I'd enjoy this madness"? Go for it and tell yourself, "I can do this." Thank you very much.